that's a winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Ooh, sir, how we doing? How we doing? The mighty Reds of Manchester head down to Selhurst Park, a stadium you and I know oh too well. Unfortunately, 1-1 is the final result. It's a draw that feels like a loss. Didn't play the best we could have, had our chances, but the real story beyond the dropping of the 2 points is, hey, United's in third place. We're 6 points clear of the Champions League, and the big problem is we're losing Casemiro for the weekend against the Gunners, but if everyone remembers correctly, we did not have Casemiro in the starting 11 when we did the deed against the Reds of London early in the season. So unfortunate that the win streak did not continue. We had our chances. But at the end of the day, you're going to drop points eventually, and that great run of wins has come to an end.
Look, I mean, it was at 9 in a row. Then we draw. You can't complain. We're in great form. Team's playing well. You got to keep your chin up here. But this one was the trap game. We called it on the last podcast. If you're going to drop points, it's going to be in between two big games. Players got up, coming down from that big Manchester derby. Upset. Some might say it's an upset. It's not an upset to me because Manchester is red and will always be so. You take your eye off the ball. You're looking to the Gunners at the weekend. Crystal Palace, hey, Selhurst Park. You're going downtown. Wout is coming in at number 9. Casemiro starting because the yellow card, so I'm losing my goddamn mind about that. But at the end of the day, a draw isn't the worst result. Going into Arsenal away at the Emirates, it'd be an upset if we won. We have to be honest with ourselves. We did play that at home without Casemiro. I would say we stole the game. There was another VAR call that benefited us, I believe, with Martinelli.
Yep.
They dominated that match. We got away with one. You can look at it. I can pull up the stats, whatever. They were the better team that day. We stole it from them. With City, I think we were the better team that day. So, and the difference between those two games is Casemiro. Now, why would our manager play Cass on a yellow for suspension in the 70th minute at Crystal Palace? We're up 1-0. He took too much risk. Playing Arsenal without him is going to be brutal. Like, that to me is like, you almost didn't play him this game because Arsenal's the game. He should have rotated. He got caught with his pants down. It's okay to draw Crystal Palace. It's okay to even lose to Crystal Palace. But you got to have Casemiro for Arsenal. There's no excuses there. You can't make this error. He played got his hand caught in the cookie jar, sir. And you have to call the manager out on it.
Well, you know what? At the end of the day, 3 points are 3 points. So 3 points against Palace are the same value as 3 points against Arsenal
And we didn't get 3 points.
I'm aware of that, but he was trying to get 3 points, and you can't have hindsight, which is 20-20, of course. And he gives you the best opportunity to beat Palace, and that takes less of an onus on beating Arsenal because anyone who thought we were going to be in a title race at the beginning of the year, no one thought that. So here we are, third place, firmly in the Champions League position. And I hear what you're saying. He should have pulled him out early, but we don't have the depth that he needs in order to rotate the squad in a point where you can beat a Palace, decent side, tough side to play, especially at night, midweek. And it's unfortunate, but you know what? This is how the standards have shifted so quickly. Hold on a second.
Who's been off? This
is how the standards.
Who's been on vacation? The excuse factory's been on vacation.
We're back, baby. We haven't lost a game in fucking.
The foreman's got the.
We haven't lost a game since the World Cup, so we have had no reason to rev this bad boy up and running. And here I am, Excuse Factory #1 Muppet, and I'm telling you the excuses because. Is what it is. We lick our wounds, but fucking Arsenal, bro. They're good. They're in good form, but we're Manchester United, and obviously we're gonna miss our best player. And let's be honest with ourselves. Casemiro is the best player in the squad.
You can't lose him for you can't.
We beat the Gunners.
It doesn't matter
without him, bro.
Well, I'm telling you,
I'm just saying.
Rewatch that game. They were the way better team, and our midfield. We need Casemiro. You have to have him. You have to have him for this game. You have to rotate to keep him available for Arsenal. The only thing you can't do is not get 3 points in Crystal Palace and lose him for that match. And we did both those things. That's the one thing coming into this game you can't do. And that happened. It's a really unfortunate event. You're right. It comes down to squad depth. You got to call the manager out on it because he's got to work with what he's got. Ten Hag deserves all the credit in the world for where we are today. But he played Casemiro way too 70th minute. You kidding me? It's like he should have been off way sooner than that. He was already risking it.
What happened when he put on Fred, bro? Like he gave
Obviously,
away chance after chance.
liability.
He gave away the game-winning chance.
I
Right?
get
The drop down in fucking Brazilians is like cataclysmic.
I
You go
agree,
from
but we gotta
world-class Casemiro to squad player.
But here's the
at
thing:
best,
you put Fred on, you draw, or you lose, and then you have Casemiro for Arsenal. That's all I'm saying. As a United fan, you want our best players available for these big games. This is a huge game for us, the way everything's shaping up. And it's just a tough taste in my mouth to draw. It's no problem drawing to a late equalizer, but to lose Casemiro and draw, that's a little too much for me, sir. It just kind of gets me all fired up.
I can feel it, sir. I know you're fired up. We're all fired up. But that is what I was saying is like our expectations have shifted now. Title. Momentum.
It's not the title.
I know. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying is like everyone's excited. We beat City on the weekend. We outplayed them beyond the fucking VAR, beyond the shithousery. We XG. We outplayed them. We deserve to win. And today we didn't play as well.
No, we tripped over our
Just hold on
feet.
a second.
We shot
sir.
ourselves
We've
in
been
the
riding
foot.
a fucking high wave, and we've been playing good football. But we've gotten away with some calls. And today, the manager is playing the squad he has available because he wants 3 points. Because 3 points against Crystal Palace are worth exactly the same against the league leaders, Arsenal. Unless you're going for a title race, which, let's be honest with ourselves.
Sir,
that's
we're
a little
going
bit
to
far
lose
reach.
to Arsenal and then get 1 point from Crystal Palace.
True.
That's not a good situation,
This team
you know.
has still got a lot of fight in it. We still got a solid midfield in Bruno and Eriksson. You know, obviously McTominay and Fred, there's a huge
Sir,
drop off.
come on, give me a break.
Sir, we
This
got-
whole
we
like,
got Varane, we got
I'm about
Luke
to shut
Shaw.
down this excuse factory because it's just
I'm
like
just trying to be all
here's
optimistic
the
and
deal.
like this is the worst outcome possible. We could have lost. Casemiro could have got a red
This
card.
is
He
a
could have missed 3
fumble-
games.
Okay, I concur. Yes, it could have
always
been.
be
You know,
worse.
like a meteor could have struck the stadium, right? You know, there could have been a way worse situations. I agree, but like at the end of the day, you beat City. You're sitting pretty. You got to manage the games and it's just like to lose Casemiro. Like I think United full fit going into Arsenal, we can win.
Of course we can win.
But we need our best player, and our best player is Casemiro. We lost our best player, and it's like, and to me, it's just like, it's just we get closer. We've gotten close a lot, and that breakthrough, you know, we have not been able to break through. And this is that game. This is that spot. You beat City. You have a chance to go on the title. You have a chance to challenge the title team, and you bottle Crystal Palace. You lose your best player
We
for the
didn't lose,
game.
bro. You acting like we lost the game.
You bottle the 3. You bottle the 3 points, sir. You know, it's like we're right here. We're knocking on the door.
And why do we bottle the 3 points? Because we've had a game every 3 or 4 days for the last 2 months since the World Cup wrapped up. And at the same time, this is a thin squad, and the drop off in our players is immense. If he could bring in a talent that was even 75% of the player that Casemiro is, he would, but he can't, and that's why he was delayed bringing him off, because he had the victory in his hands, and that 3 points is massive. But there's going to be setbacks. We're halfway through the season officially.
Now, what I say?
We're way ahead of where we would have been, dude. Where we all went into the season, no one expected us to be third place, like firmly in Champions League position. Like Champions League was like best case scenario. We were calling 6th, you were calling 8th. We are in 3rd place, and we are 6 points.
I know,
clear.
but when you can taste it,
I know.
But when
We've all tasted the fruit, bro. I get it.
You beat Palace.
I get it.
You're
Sir.
going to
You're flying,
you're
bro.
Going to
You're
the Emirates.
second place. You go in. You're second
going to the
place.
Emirates, and you're ready to. And you know what? The move would be we would be unstoppable.
And I know
We would be
Casemiro, we'd smash him
unstoppable.
because
we would destroy Arsenal.
He's probably the
if
best
we,
midfielder
like,
in the league right now. Like,
and that's
bar
what I'm
none.
saying is like you take Crystal Palace down, you go into the Emirates Stadium with Casemiro and this team ready to rock. Arsenal wilt like a wet noodle, and we just batter them. Without Casemiro coming off of this draw, it's just one. This. It's like again, this all comes back to the Queen of England, really. Without the Queen of England, Casemiro would be playing the Gunners. It's like literally, it's like this is the way this game, this sport, this everything, sir. It comes down to the fine margins. It's like it actually comes down to even finer margins because I think this game
penalty call, right? Wasn't there a big penalty call?
No, because it's like the Queen died, and then her funeral, and they didn't have enough police in the country, so they had to get police to come from Manchester down to London, so they couldn't play the game. Delays it. I mean, it's like the way everything works out in a trap game. But look, we can whinge all day here. Excuse Factor can pump out all the excuses they want, but it's not going to change the result. Quick PSA for the podcast: you like this whinging, fighting the frustration of being a United fan, and you're a Muppet, you want to support the podcast forum up is please check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/America Red Devils. We have great benefits. We do an extra podcast behind the scenes every month. Please check it out. Support us. That's why we don't have any sponsors on this podcast. Also, check out our website, AmericaDevils.com. Check out our store, AmericaDevils.store. We have great merch. The 65th anniversary Munich air disaster scarves are awesome. They commemorate the Munich air disaster with the 1958 FA Cup badge and a lot of other art with the Will Never Die text. Please check that out on the website. Pick up some merch. Everything you buy supports this podcast. Sir, tell them about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews or 5-star reviews of the American Devils podcast. Wherever you listen, it's a great way to support the pod. It helps us get found organically, and even better, we've got an extra special giveaway. If you write one of those 5-star reviews, we're giving away Glazer Out scarves. They are still here. Wear the green and gold because that will never go out of style. All you have to do to get one is write a 5-star review wherever you listen. Send a screenshot to AmericaRedDevils@gmail.com with a screenshot and your mailing address, and I will personally pick, pack, and ship a free Glazer Out scarf straight from ARD headquarters anywhere in the world. Just sent out like 15 of them. Get one while they're hot, sir. And speaking of hot, we're hot. I think we've talked enough about Casemiro, but let's get into that match. Crystal Palace won. Manchester United won. It was at Selhurst Park, and it was always a trap game, sir. We talked about it last time. We just knew it.
All right, let's get in the starting 11. Dave saves world number one net. Put some respect on his name with this result. Luke Shaw at left back, Martinez, Varane, center back pairing. It's about time. Martinez with the headband. Wan-Bissaka at right back, Eriksson, Casemiro midfield, Bruno in the hole, Rashford on the left, Weghorst at number 9, and Anthony on the right. What'd you make of this lineup?
Great to see Martinez back with Varane, AWV, keeping that consistency. I wanted to see him shine back at his old club in Palace. Shaw at his favored left back position, midfield probably the best in the league, and then Wout Weghorst getting his first start. I thought that made sense. I thought Martial needed a blow. I like this 11.
Jumping in the first half, 9th minute, Bruno almost finds Anthony with a curling ball in behind. 22nd minute, Anthony beats the defender, tries to chip the keeper from a deft angle. Almost there. Creative from Anthony. Not much from our 80 million pound man today, unfortunately. And 30th minute, Wout, header opportunity, his real only chance of the game from a brilliant cross from Luke Shaw. I mean, that's what he's there for. He's the poor man's Fellaini, we're going to call it. He wears the same number.
He does with the same number. Not get 7.
Not the best debut for him. Just looks like a big, slow version of Holland who can't finish quite as well. 40th minute, Dave saves with the
mood, sir.
I mean, like, how would you assess that that debut?
I mean, he joined the squad 2 days ago. This is always a tough place to play. Didn't get that many opportunities. He got one opportunity. Like, are there other great chances from us to talk about? So
yeah, I know.
Should have made more of it.
I don't pull punches.
It looks like hey, sir, that looks like Tony Martial in the air.
So you want
Tony Martial in the air skies it over the bar.
Yeah, this is true.
I mean, who can actually head a ball? Eddie Cavani, he's gone.
Sorry, like you don't.
Ronaldo, he gone.
You don't come to the America Red Devils podcast for us to pull punches here.
I tell you what, 3 points.
And I feel like some people.
There's a 3-point pot. There's a 3-point vibe. There's a 1-point vibe. And there's a 0-point vibe.
There's a
I think 1 point's even the worst. I think 1 point, lose a cast is the worst.
The closest
vibe.
We've been to the title.
Yeah, we're on our way.
In 10 years.
It wasn't built in a day.
Bottle it. It's like, fumble Lewski. Yeah, exactly. It's like there's a little, some people out there will get what I'm going at here.
I get what you're going at. I hear you.
40. It's the we want to win the title crew, people who remember Manchester United winning title after title, you're my crew. Just remember that. You sometimes got to hold this team to that standard.
Which crew? Which crew does that put me in?
I don't know. Excuse factor. You guys are like happy.
I don't remember
Arsenal fans. You're happy with top 4
in titles, sir. I'm not talking about like where we should be. I'm talking about where we are today and what are realistic expectations. I know we can get caught up in the moment.
I'll tell you who's great. 40th minute, Dave saves. What a save! What a save's a goal. And this is one where you had to look and a better way to look at the game is like, yeah, we're talking about the Casemiro yellow card. We're talking about Arsenal. We're talking about this. You look at this game and you say, Palace were ripe for they could have won this game very easily. Like the chances De Gea was able to parry away. I don't think our attack looked that sharp at all. I don't think we created enough chances. I mean, look, we have Anthony up top. We got Wout. We got Rashford didn't look like he was playing his A game. Bruno kind of had that same, until obviously the 43rd minute. But the attack is what's going to hold us back. I thought the back line played great.
No, I agree. I think we shut them down. They had 2 big chances, of course. Dave saves, one in the first, one in the second.
But better than ours,
and then they score a wonder goal. I mean, but you know what? Anthony should have done better with his chance. The one with that ball that Bruno put in, that's a goal for a number 9. And at the same time, Wout should have put his chance on target. So, we had our opportunities, a clear-cut penalty. But so let's talk about the goal, the good stuff that happened. Bruno Fernandes finally finding form.
Bruno Fernandes.
Cleverly done by Rashford. Eriksen pulling it back. It's Bruno Fernandes and Manchester United have the lead as they look to make it a magnificent 10 out of 10. Taken some time in coming, but one incisive, potent move. And Bruno Fernandes lashes it in. United have a deserved advantage coming into half-time.
It's been a fascinating first.
What a goal. What a team goal for Manchester United. We were feeling it, there was that one chance Crystal Palace had, first half. I felt like United, we had some edge. This is a great, what a team goal here.
And what a finish from Bruno Fernandes, right? Even better than the finish he had against City on the weekend. I thought we controlled large parts of the first half. They're dangerous in the counter. They have a lot of speed. They have a lot of good players up front. But ultimately, I thought this was like the way we've been playing, just kind of pulling the strings, calling it like we see it. And ultimately, Bruno, you would have liked that the rest of the team could have pushed it on from here because the second half, there was certainly a drop-off versus the first.
No, that is really what kills us here is essentially the first half. We finish strong, go up 1-0. We come out the second half. It was a little blah, blah, blah. Obviously, first 20 minutes didn't play too well. 70th minute, we subbed McSauce for Wout and Garnacho on for Anthony, trying to get something going here. 72nd minute, we had a penalty shout. McSauce, sir, you want to take us through the penalty shout?
Absolutely, sir. McSauce runs into the box. He beats his defender. The defender puts out a leg. In the modern era, but the thing is, the modern era, this is a penalty. I've seen this called a penalty multiple times. It's hard for me to whinge because the VAR gods are just in their way. Because we got away with one to a certain extent with that Bruno equalizer last game. So I think it's a penalty. I've seen it called a penalty many, many times. It would be called as a penalty for a home match for one of our rivals. But this is the thing we've talked about constantly, sir. It's that lack of consistency in the Premier League. It's just so varied game to game that I think that's one of the things that, is holding the EPL back. It's not holding us back. We're the most successful football league in the world in terms of viewership and quality, but it should be better in terms of what the officiating is, because it's even a drop off versus the World Cup, for example, which was relatively consistent.
I thought the World Cup was all over the board.
Well, so is the EPL.
You watch the U.S. national team games like that, and 13 yellow cards versus no yellow card. I thought that the World Cup was EPL. This isn't a penalty. It's not
called penalty. Plenty of games.
It's soft. It's on the, if you were to say that, if you're looking at the penalty scale, I agree if the ref calls a no pen, VAR doesn't overturn, right? That's what you're really saying. Okay, the ref.
It's borderline. It's a borderline
you
clear
look
and
at
obvious
that,
error.
You look at that and you say, ref said no penalty. The reason is the contact wasn't through McTominay. It was kind of McTominay. He got to the ball, but he kind of planted.
Around the guy.
Yeah, but he didn't really go through McTominay, right?
It was
kind of like he was there. He kind of went for the ball and didn't really it may put McTominay off of it, but it wasn't like a through the man. And I think at the end of the day, if the ref says no penalty and there isn't that contact through, missing the ball and then contacting the forward, it's no pen. For me, it's soft to say we should have won. We were hard done by, especially if you watch that City goal. City were really hard done by that call. that Bruno goal. Like, I believe that
we don't need to relitigate the last game, but like I said,
no, but you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some.
That's what I said. I said the preamble is that like the VAR went for us on the derby, and it went against us today because this has been called penalties in lots of games, but it's also been called not penalties in lots of games, and that's just the way football is. That's the way life is. Sometimes they go for you, sometimes they go against you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm this one doesn't piss me off. I just think we should have created more chances. Really, what the second half to me shows that like what United's lacking, like we've always said, is the attack. At the end of the day, 80th minute, 70th minute, Dave saves, great save from a corner again. De Gea keeping us in it. This could have been 2 goals from Crystal Palace. Casemiro with a yellow card tackles Zaha. That's the one where he's going to miss the Arsenal match. Tough to see, but he's doing everything he can to save the game. 80th minute, sir. Fred came on for Eriksson. 89th minute, Fred bottles a 50-50, gives away a free kick. And in the 90th minute, sir, it just stings. It just stings.
Set piece for a side that revel in those.
Shaw just catching the heels of Schluck.
Klein leaves it. Elise tries his luck. That is a magnificent execution of a free kick, and one that has massive ramifications for Manchester United. Looks of devastation on the United faces. Barely a glimmer from Elise.
Sir, what do you make of that one? Bar down.
Can't save that,
Yeah, you can't save it. That's unsavable. But that's right. The goal and the draw doesn't get me.
Dude, it's
the
like
yellow card.
it's one of those
in
games,
80th
bro.
minute.
It's like we could have played much better in the second half. We controlled large parts of the game. We weren't clinical enough. That's been the same issue we've talked about. Midfield controlled games, but we have to be scoring goals. We can't score goals. Vout, he's going to get more opportunities, but is he enough? We need more up front. And we need more options ultimately just in the squad. The squad needs to be developed because the first 11, I agree, can sit with any 11 in the EPL. We're as good as anybody, and we can beat anybody. But we don't have the depth of even
we have the best midfield in the league.
We do, without a doubt. Without a doubt, one of the best defenses in the league. But we're missing up front. And at the same time, our depth is a huge drop-off versus those top 2 teams. For City and Arsenal, they have far more than we do, but this is a project, and we are building it, and our manager's in the right direction, and he got some calls wrong today. There's no doubt about it. But he's also gotten a lot right over the last 6 months. And now we lick our wounds and head on to the Gunners, sir, because I think there's plenty of reasons to be optimistic, even without the best player.
No,
the best player
94th
in
minute,
the league.
94th minute here, finish up the game. Fred with a bad giveaway. He was involved in giving away that free kick to them, which led to their goal in the 90th minute. Palace breaks. Zaha almost wins it, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka, a world-class challenge. What a player. Aaron Wan-Bissaka coming in and just hitting top form for Manchester United. You really do love to see that. Stats-wise, and this is where you get caught out Selhurst Park. Shots 15 to United, 10 to Crystal Palace, 4 on target to 5 for Crystal Palace. We had more of the ball, 61%. Didn't do much more with it to their 39%, sir. So at the end of the day, it was a difficult one away at Selhurst Park. It's totally okay to get a draw. It's totally okay to have them steal at Bar Down. But when you lose your best player for a huge match at the weekend, that is the part that stings. That's the part of this game for me that makes it hurt a little more. Looking at the table, Arsenal in first place, 18 played, 47 points. City, 18 played, 39 points. Manchester United, 19 played, 39 points. We obviously dropping 1 today. Newcastle, 19 played, 38. We are 1 ahead of Newcastle. And then Tottenham, 19 played, 33 points. So that is
6
the gap.
points, sir. Not bad.
For top 4.
Officially halfway through the season.
You'll have to see Liverpool in 9th and Chelsea in 10th. It's funny, we don't even talk about those teams anymore. It's just become us, City, and Arsenal. And, man, you look at that, us dropping those points going in to the Emirates, we would have been 5 points back from we would have been 6 points back from them. Could have won 3, could have been 3 to the title. That's the difference with what I'm talking about. You hear the frustration on the pod. That's the frustration. You go into there 6 points behind, you beat them, you're 3 points off the title, you're in a title race. We had the chance to do that. We fumbled it away at Crystal Palace today. And, oh, by the way, our best player ain't playing against the Gunners. It's a tough one for me, sir, because I just need to taste that title race. I want to get close because I'm thirsty for trophies, hungry for signings. Wout didn't whet the appetite, and I want that title race, man. And we were that close away from 3 points off the top.
I know. You don't lose the title.
That doesn't matter to you?
Sir, just give me a fucking chance to respond. I know you're fired up. You don't lose the title in a game, and you don't win the title in a game. So we won 9 games in a row, including against the best team in the league, who is still Manchester City at the end of the day. They're better than Arsenal, even though they haven't started the season as well or played as well. So this team has come leaps and bounds from the beginning of the season. There's so much optimism. I understand we're going into the game, arguably, of the second half of the season versus the top team in the league without our best player. But we've got momentum. We still have great form, and we have good players that can hopefully make up in his absence. Maybe Fred will have a worldie, sir.
I hope.
There's other players. We still have worldie players. We still have Bruno Fernandes. We still have Marcus Rashford, who's in great form. We still have Eriksen. It's like there are good players here. Varane. Luke Shaw is playing great football. Sir, you're saying there's a chance, bro. Let's get in it. The team is feeling like they got fucking beat up. It wasn't. Remember how we were? Sorry, it was within 12 months. It was last May. We were at Selhurst Park. We had to watch that game. We didn't have a sniff at it. We didn't have one good chance. We got fucking blown out.
I just need us to break the glass ceiling. We got to break the glass ceiling.
I know, but that was never going to happen halfway through the season, sir.
No, but
you have year
I'm just saying,
with Erik ten Hag.
United, you don't get opportunities. Things happen, and you have to take advantage of your opportunity. So yes, no one thought we would be here, but when this opportunity is here, every Manchester United side, whenever the opportunity presented itself, they broke that glass ceiling and they went for the jugular.
Every United side?
10 years ago, yes.
With
every
Fergie,
single
with
one.
Sir Alex Ferguson.
If there was a window, they were coming, bro. Everyone melted and we just crushed the glass ceiling, went through it, and we took it. And we had that chance. I feel like
what
for
happens
the last
if we beat Arsenal
decade,
on Sunday?
Been trying
How was that? What is that considered if we beat Arsenal? Controversial call. 2-1, whatever it is.
No, we beat them.
That's
we're
just
5
monumental,
points
if not
off.
more, right?
No, I agree. I agree. I'm just saying,
And you take points for them,
right?
If you really talk about title races, it's not the false equivalency that I said earlier, which is that 3 points are worth 3 points. That is in the context of top 4. But when you're going for a title, you want to take points off a team with a big fucking lead. So
yes,
I know, I feel that. That's the game that matters. And I know we lost Casemiro, but
it's just
we got players.
So, we're not a Manchester United. What Manchester United means to us, what Manchester United means to us, it's just it's trophies, sir. It's winning. It's winning.
Let's hear from the manager.
It's winning. It's trophies. It's titles. It's everything. Come on, win a trophy, please.
What do you got for us, Erik ten Hag?
Analysis of the game and the result.
I think we controlled the game. We scored a good goal first half. I wouldn't say it was a top performance, but it was okay. Was in control. Great save. That was, I think, the only chance Crystal Palace produced. And I think we had a couple of good opportunities and we scored a great goal. And the second half, I think, was the same. We had control of the game. But I think we have to invest more for the second. If you then score 2-0, then the game is over. And now you get hammered with an unlucky moment in the end.
How much do you feel that it slipped away from you? It was there for the taking, all 3 points.
Yeah, clear. If you concede a goal 2 minutes or 1 minute beforehand, then it's difficult to react anymore. Although we had the chance to score the 2-1 with Casemiro, but that's what it is. And we have to take the lesson, invest more for the second goal.
Casemiro had a bad night, of course, because he picked up that booking as well. What was your view on the booking? Do you think that was because of the type of player he was and the situation, it was just instinctive for him to do that, or should he have known better?
I think it's what you say, it's instinctive. He went for the ball. I think he missed the ball, but it's quite clear it was also a situation of our right side, what could have been a dangerous situation. He wants to stop it. And that was his reaction, quite clear. But as I said, we have to invest more for the second goal, and then you don't come in such situations.
Were you about to take him off anyway? And also, how big a miss will he be against Arsenal?
Last time we beat Arsenal without Casemiro, and so this time we have to do.
Look at Alex like FedExing those excuses over across the pond.
Yeah, we were great minds think alike, my man. Erik ten Hag, dude, he's not happy about it. He's got higher standards than even we do, sir. He wants to win every fucking game. Doesn't want to concede one. He wants to score lots of goals, and he knows it. Like, they control large amounts of the game. They are dangerous on the counter. Had a great chance. They took the most of it, but United should have done more. Sure, but this squad, add a couple years, I agree. Frustrating, but we move on, and now we got Woolwich Arsenal, sir. We're taking it down in a title race.
You know what our real title is the
if you
Glazers
win this
getting out of
game,
the
we're in a
club.
title race. So technically, we're in the title race because we haven't lost this game yet. So we got
No,
everything
it's
to play
just
for.
everything like the United getting the extra game because the Queen died and the
fucked
security,
us,
and then
bro.
they
They fucked
put it all like last minute in the middle, and then
Last minute too, 2 weeks notice. Like
and the yellow it's just like
fucked up. They
everything,
fucked
dude.
up.
It's like
a game before
we
it
had
washes out too. By the way,
I know if we had a week ahead,
we smoke Arsenal.
we would smoke them,
Casemiro?
and it's just like everyone knows what we're capable of, and everyone knows we're going to go into the Emirates and beat them. And now it's like Arsenal, just like Arsenal and Softman Arteta are getting that yellow brick road to the way of the title that they don't deserve, and they're going to get it before us. And that's a tough. I'll tell you what, watching the Scouts Bastards win, that's really tough. Them winning 20, that's the one team I don't want to see. Chelsea winning title, don't bother me. City winning it, they're way behind, not concerned. Arsenal, this one sucks because they hit the skids like we did, and if they get back before we do, that's
They hit
that's
the
hard.
skids 10 years earlier than we did. They haven't been in a title race.
Yeah, I know,
since
maybe like
the
6
2006.
since we got RVP.
Right.
We
Well,
took
even
they were in the
before,
title
dude.
race when they had RVP, and we took them away and won 12-13. They were.
They weren't truly in a title race since like 07.
I'd fact check you on that, but they were in title races with RVP for sure. They didn't win. They weren't going to win, but they were in the mix.
In title races, in the sense that we're in title races, 8 points out, and maybe we'll never get closer than second.
Yeah. Well, look, that's it. It's the next match. This is the game. If they beat us here, it's over 100%. Arsenal versus Manchester United. You think we're in a title race if we lose, and we're how many points would that be behind? You think that
What would we be? They go to 50, and we'd be stuck at
11 points behind.
ahead.
That's
And
probably
they'd have
it.
a game in hand. Yeah, so you're pretty much out of it. At
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Point. But
That's
who
what
thought
I
we were going to be
said.
in a title race before we beat City a couple of days ago? So I know, sir. I want to be back to the promised
I
land
want to
as
be in
much
a
as you
title
do.
race longer than like 48 hours.
This is like an Ole title race.
It's an Ole title race. Exactly. That's why I'm talking about the glass ceiling a little bit. It has that like
first season.
every time we get there, it's like whoop. And Arsenal versus Manchester United at the Emirates, Sunday, January 22nd, 8:30 a.m. Pacific. I'm going to be fired up for this game. 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Fred in midfield. God help us. Lifetime versus Arsenal. Games won 101, drawn 50, lost 86. They've been a foe for Manchester United throughout the years. First time we played them, Newton Heath versus Woolwich Arsenal in October 1894. We drew that one. Maybe we draw this one. Last 5, we've won 2, lost 2, drawn 1. It's even split between Manchester United and Arteta. Coming into this one, they beat Brighton 4-2. They drew Newcastle. Need some of that. They beat Oxford United in the FA Cup 3-0. Dispatched Tottenham and Conte's
Conte.
men 2-0. They play us and they play City in the FA Cup. We shall see. Big match.
Big match, big as they come, and a lot to play for. Very excited for this one. I'm glad it's not at 4:30 a.m. And you know what? With or without Casemiro, you're saying there's a chance. We just got to put together some top tactics, my man. Top tactics.
Marcus Rashford could have needed everything you got.
Yeah, seriously.
Little history on Arsenal. In 1886, the munitions workers at the Royal Arsenal in Woolwich founded the club as Dial Square. And in 1939, they crossed the city to Arsenal Stadium in Highbury, becoming neighbors to Tottenham Hotspur and creating the North London Derby, a fierce rivalry, the one which they just won. And obviously, they're usually getting the best of Tottenham. And in 2006, they moved to the nearby Emirates Stadium. That was probably the downfall when they
Yeah, just about
paid
actually.
for this big
Pretty
stadium,
much.
and they bled the club dry for it. Arsenal were the first club from the south of England to join the Football League in 1893, and they reached the first division in 1904. They've won 13 league titles, 14 FA Cups, which is the record, 16 Community Shields, 1 European Cup Winners' Cup, 1 Intercities Fairs Cup. They've never won the Champions League. And in terms of trophies won, it's the third most successful club in English football, sir. Which would be the first?
I wonder. They play in Manchester. They play in red. Busby Babes.
Absolutely. The starting 11, the 4-3-3. Don't like him at all. Ramsdale. Don't know how this guy's good at goalie. Like, I don't like him at all. Like, he made a bunch of great saves against Tottenham, like, out of nowhere. Saka's really good. Martinelli's really good. Xhaka, don't like that guy. Odegaard is really the threat. They got
front three.
They have Partey still playing for him, despite some off-field antics and some rumors around that situation. I'm not going to touch with a 10-foot pole, but he's still playing for them, which I think is interesting. Zinchenko, the City reject at left back. Gabriel, remember we didn't want him for about $20 million. Ben White, right back. They got a great team, sir. It's all coming together.
They got a great team. They could be a much better team because think about it. Xhaka ain't that good. Like, think about how much better they could be when they get rid of Xhaka. Upgrade Xhaka, upgrade Ramsdale, upgrade Nikita, get Jesus back in the fold. So they're a solid team. They're playing top-notch. Arteta, thus far, has proven us wrong. I thought they had a big flame out, but they're a very beatable side, and we can beat them. We just got to show up.
Martinelli is the one that is the real
he's
deal.
probably the best player at the front three.
Saka's very good.
Saka's very good.
Saka's very good. Odegaard is coming into his own.
He is.
Challenging Bruno.
Saliba's a very good defender. White does a job at right back at $50 million, and Ramsdale.
He's played well.
He's better than you would think.
You look at him and you're like, that guy's going to let him like 15 goals and plays well. Injuries, Donnie, knee surgery, done for the ceiling. Jack Butland, the backup, he is injured. Martial had a knock. Sancho is back in first-team training. You love to see that one. Dalot had a muscle injury. Tuanzebe nowhere to be found. Given those are the injuries, what is your lineup?
I got who else? De Gea, world number one in net. AWB, Varane, Martinez, Shaw. Fred the Red, do the job, buddy. Fred, Bruno, Eriksson, Rashford, Martial, Garnacho. I'm benching Anthony. What do you got, sir?
Is that really the tactics? Just Fred like for Casemiro, and we're not.
Or
gonna
McTominay. He played McTominay last time and we beat him. So that could be the move. But I think Fred, you do man mark on Odegaard like you did for Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, but you need Casemiro because Fred can run after a player and like defend, but Casemiro's going to make the whole thing run. I don't think.
You're 11.
Dave says rule number one: AWB, Varane, Martinez, Shaw. This is where it's interesting. I think you put Fred, McTominay, Eriksson, Rashford, Martial, and Bruno.
Extra midfielder like we did for City.
Exactly.
I think that's a good move.
You have to play like take away the middle of the park like we did with City. Arteta might anticipate that one, but still, it's going to be close. It's going to be close, and you read off the McFred midfield versus Casemiro, Bruno, and Eriksson, and you're just taking a step back to reality, sir. Back to the old McFred.
It is a step down, no doubt.
Booking the bookies. What are the odds?
So we have coming up. It is Arsenal, the favorites, minus 115. The draw at plus 270, and 3 times your money, 290 for big bad Manchester United. That's
disrespectful.
It is because actually I think it was 280 for City for us to win. So this is even worse. Given those are the odds, what is your score prediction, sir?
3-1 to the Gunners. United get dispatched. I just don't. I think you put Casemiro in. I think we could beat him. Without him, I think it's one of those where we concede, try to get back in it, go for it, and concede more type of thing. I don't see us beating them without him.
There you go. 2-1, we win it. Shady VAR call. Shady VAR call, bro.
Another shady VAR call. Pray to the VAR gods. Let's go. United in the news. Jadon Sancho back with the first team. Coaching staff and club feel Sancho's making positive progress here at Fabrizio Romano. It's reported by Andy Mitten, the famous Andy Mitten who feuded with this podcast.
You made up. I thought you made up at Palace. At Palace.
He blocked us because I called him out for the soft Ed Woodward interview.
He might be listening, so be nice.
Then he unblocked us because I actually in person asked him why he blocked me.
At Selhurst Park.
We hashed it out in person. A Twitter beef took to the street at Selhurst Park.
Love to see it.
He unblocked us, so now I can see any
Fan of the pod. Fan of the pod.
What do you make? Sancho's back.
Love to see it. This is great. Sancho, he's a worry, to be honest. Just because didn't start his career well, and a lot of players that have gotten the kind of arm around the shoulder under this manager have done very well, responded well, right? We talk about Marcus Rashford. We talk about Luke Shaw. We talk about even Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who's had a great run of games ever since the low went injured. And honestly, today, played terrific, had that huge last-minute save and looked like a $50 million man. But Sancho, the thing that makes me worry about Sancho is just the money. It's not even the money we've spent. It's the money that we're giving him week in, week out. He's on like $335K a week. Same amount of money that Varane and
drowning
Casemiro.
in money he can't play.
Well, I don't know.
What is
He
it,
hasn't
money?
played well. He hasn't looked good to
He's
the date.
too rich. Is that what happens?
You don't think that's a phenomenon that could happen? That you're a player that gets paid too much money too early in your career before you?
No,
Is he of the same caliber as a Varane and Casemiro, or even dare I say your boy De Gea? No, he isn't.
No,
And he
look,
wasn't
I'll give
even
you
when
a-
he left Dortmund. But I'm saying is like they overpaid. They gave him too much money, and that's fine. That is what it is. But I'm hoping that the manager could put an arm around his shoulder and get the most out of him, because we've seen that before. But to a certain extent, that's going to have to Jadon Sancho. He's going to need to grab this moment where there's competition in the side. There's other wingers who are looking to take his spot, i.e. Garnacho, and he's going to have to grab it by the scruff of the neck and take it back, because right now Garnacho is a better option. And the fact that he wasn't
Garnacho's
available.
playing on the left, Sancho playing on the right.
Of course. We also have Anthony, who spent big money on, who also needs to get a little bit more consistent in his all-around
We
play.
need bodies. We need more people.
And he's a good body to have.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Jadon
He's a great
Sancho,
body.
I'm excited to see him get incorporated, and I want to see what he can show in the second half of the season.
There isn't a Manchester United fan that is not a fan of Jadon Sancho. That's right. Everyone wants him to play well at Manchester United. Look, I had to clap the manager upside the head, leaving Casemiro on the 80th minute so he can't play at Arsenal.
How many more times are you going to say Casemiro? How many more times are you going to mention our beautiful prince?
Can
our
I finish
beautiful
my-
Brazilian prince?
Okay. Can you mention Casemiro enough, by the way,
Yes,
as it
you
relates
can.
to this team?
You've officially mentioned it enough.
He is the best player.
I
on our
agree.
team.
He's the
He
best
has
player on our
changed
team. He's the best
team.
midfielder in the league.
He's the
He's
best
straight up.
signing
He's
we've
a-
made in, like, you can go down the list.
RVP,
Like,
arguably RVP.
yes, he has brought everything that we love about this club back.
He's like he's the best
Single-handedly.
midfielder we've
He's
had
e-
in Manchester
he's the
United
best-
since Paul Scholes, bro. He's like he's
No,
an
but
incredible player.
He's
all
everything.
around.
He's a winner. He loves the fans, loves the
Insane.
club. He is the man. Like, Casemiro's changing the game at Manchester United. Like, everyone should know that. So you can't say his name enough. But with Jadon Sancho, we're talking about Jadon Sancho here. He doesn't get mentioned often. The manager, I think, made a 4D chess move, and you gotta give him all the credit in the world with this one. You have to give Erik ten Hag all the credit, because you gotta give him credit for booting my boy Ronaldo out the gosh darn club, because he's out in Saudi Arabia cashing all those checks. And
Cash and check.
Cash
speaking,
is
of,
like-
speaking of overpaying for players, you think that has gone to his head, getting $200 million a year?
of course.
Like,
Well, here's the deal. Like Ten Hag, and yes, you're right. As far as like the yellow for cast, it doesn't really matter, because in the scheme of things, Ten Hag is just like putting up dubs till you're like can't handle it. And this one, I have to give our manager so much
good to have you
credit.
back. Sorry, it's good to have you back. John, we missed you for the first 15 minutes of the spot. He's back.
I want
Optimism.
that gosh darn title race, sir. You gotta,
So do
and
I,
I
bro.
don't like Arsenal. I don't like this whole like everyone loving Arsenal thing either. I don't like that at all. I don't like that
As
at
much
all.
as I hated when everybody loved Liverpool because they were like the not Manchester United going for titles.
Yeah, but Arsenal used to be like us. They used to stink.
I know.
You know, they used to stink and like fire their manager and like be bad like us.
Like, top
and,
four
like,
was the
we had
title.
that thing together. It's like, you know, you're like in a bad relationship with a girl. You're both like overweight, and then she like breaks up with you, and then gets really fit. You know, that's where Arsenal is right now. We're like dying.
And we're trying to get in shape.
Speaking of getting in shape, Jadon Sancho, Erik ten Hag said, "You know what? This isn't working. Clearly, this is a black box." So commenting on like his wages or whatever, I think something happened. And Erik ten Hag talked to the player and said, "Hey man, just take some time off." And he's keeping it really coy in the press. There's no leaks. There's no nothing. Ten Hag is protecting his boy. He's giving him time to sort it out. And can you imagine the loyalty Jadon Sancho's going to have to Erik ten Hag for giving him time to sort this out, protecting him in the press, letting him come back on his own terms and doing what's best for the player, despite the big money wages, despite the spotlight of Manchester United. Jadon Sancho comes back and starts playing well, he'll do anything for this manager, and that's the type of loyalty you're starting to see how he runs the show. So if players are in the dressing room, they see how tight of a ship he runs, and then they see how much he cares about players by trying to work with this on Jadon Sancho. I think it's a huge positive for a manager. Shows you what type of guy he really is. Because at the end of the day, LVG would have been like slapping him upside the head.
Mourinho?
And,
What
like,
would Mourinho
you know
do?
what I mean? Like some managers would like turn on him in the press.
Oh yeah, throw him under the bus.
Exactly. And so Ten Hag's protecting his boy. All the team is seeing how he deals with this, and I'm sure there's something serious went on. So it's a black box for us to comment on, but I do think Ten Hag is playing 4D chess with this one. I think Sancho's going to come back in the second half of the season. I think he's going to play great. I think you're going to see a new Jadon Sancho ready to go.
And I'm rooting for Jadon Sancho. I think we all are. How about the fact that there's been no leaks since Ronaldo?
Exactly.
There's no leaks. It was like leakier than a ship, than like an old naval ship last season. Just unbelievable. Left, right, and center. We haven't heard a peep, especially since Ronaldo's gone. So incredible stuff. So you love to see it. Speaking of incredible stuff, we got some news.
Again, this is actually a Times journalist at Jack_Talbot. Garnacho has agreed to terms on a new Manchester United contract. Deal thought to be until 2029 with an option of an extra year contract worth over £30,000 a week. And I'm like, that's it.
That's cheap.
Like, they should be paying this kid more. Give him $100,000.
I would say, like, I think
Fat Jesse Lingard is making more money at Nottingham Forest.
He's on $200K a week. But B. Williams is on $70K a week, apparently. So I'm shocked we got him for so low. Maybe they're thinking lock him down, and then when he like hits the next level, we'll give him even more money because that will be inevitable.
Who knows, release clause or
All
what
that.
exactly?
But either way,
yep.
Dude, he's a player that also Erik ten Hag has managed. Hag has managed exceptionally well, right? He had the disciplinary issues coming out late to a couple of meetings in preseason in Spain, and you know what? You gotta get in line. That's the way Erik likes to run things. So he's bounced back as well. His man management is incredible. Incredible. Love to see it.
Next one here from Romano from the Times. Ineos has entered the bidding process to buy Manchester United. They say, quote, "We have formally put ourselves in the process of bidding for the club." Jim Ratcliffe, the first one to go public, boyhood fan of Manchester United. He's been linked to purchasing the club for a long time, ever since the Chelsea sale. He is who we want the Glazers to sell to. He loves this club. Rooted for them his entire life. Knows what it needs, knows what the fans are about, knows what the stadium needs. Hasn't killed anyone with a bone saw. Gotta get this guy in the club, right?
I mean, you love to see it. I'd like to get your take on like the posturing, going public versus like stuff being done behind closed doors, and usually there's more momentum without people looking in. But
I said
either way, face of a bid, it's going to be a competitive process. It's funny. It's like Arsenal, Liverpool on the block, and nobody's talking about it. Like nobody gives a fuck about whoever's buying Liverpool. Like they're not in the news, but this is constantly in the news. And you know, they also said that they're hopeful they can get a buyer identified by the end of March. We will see, but we're heading in the right direction. The team is on the up. We've got a real deal manager. We've got some real unbelievable players in this squad, and all we need is an owner with deep pocketbooks and also just the fortitude and the ability to like put together the team and bring us back to the promised land, sir. We're getting closer.
This is our title. This is our title, really.
This is bigger than anything.
Getting the Glazers out the gosh darn club. Something we've been trying to do forever. And then when they leave, it's just going to be a party. And it's going to be a new era for Manchester United.
That's right.
And, you know, drawing Crystal Palace don't matter, and whoever wins the title this season doesn't matter, because this is going to determine the next 30 years of Manchester United history. And in the history of this great club, there have been bad owners. The club's been in debt. It's been in administration. It's been saved from administration. It has had great owners like Sir John Henry Davies, who moved it to Old Trafford and, you know, won our first title and set this club up to success and actually came up with the name Manchester United. There's been some horrible ownerships, post Glazers being one of them, fans protesting, etc. And when this club changes hands, it's usually amazing or horrible. And the Glazers have been horrible, and I have a feeling we're due for amazing, and amazing from a sporting institution, director of football, world-class talent on the executive side around Manchester United. Edwin van der Sar coming in, being the CEO, putting winning on the football pitch as the top priority instead of dividends. What this is going to do for the club over the long term is everything we really want. This is our title this year. Top four will give this new owner $100 million to spend, and that's really ultimately what we want. It's just hard, sir, when it's been so long. For us United fans.
You got teased. You got to tease because we had the weekend and the win against City, so we're heading in the right direction.
It's like
we're so much farther than we thought it would be.
I believe.
I still believe.
I believe.
I still believe we can make it interesting. I'm not saying we're going to win the title, but like we're way further than we thought we would be.
But if you're ever going to beat anyone, Arsenal are the one
9
they're
in a row,
they're
bro.
going to
And
melt
we
down.
didn't lose.
They're going to melt down.
And we haven't lost.
I refuse
Arsenal
to
yet.
believe they're going to win the whole thing. I refuse to. I agree.
We haven't lost Arsenal yet, bro. It's not like
I
we
understand,
just
but,
got
like-
beat up 6-3 by Arsenal. The Arsenal.
You know we need our
They're not that
dog.
good. They're not that good. I know we do.
We need our dog.
He's the lead dog, bro. He's like the king of the dog pound.
We need our dog
Not
in the
worthy
midfield.
guess. He's an incredible
We need
player.
him.
Incredible player.
We do. It's like so. Newsflash, new podcast only about Casemiro. Change the name of the pod. Jumping into fan questions here. At Mike United Met, give me some optimism, Mike. You usually do. Well, we were due for a trap game, sirs. Unfortunately, that this match was rescheduled between these two massive games. But the reality is we are ahead of schedule compared to expectations at the beginning of the season. Huge mentality test to see how the boys bounce back from this. At
Good take.
MR Loons. Mike works for you in the Excuse Factory, so you got to take that with a grain.
Brother from another mother, bro. I appreciate you, Mike.
At MR Loons 1, is Rashford getting a bit obsessed with stats? Could have played in plenty of chances today. People were saying that he was going for the goal record, could have passed a little more. What do you think, sir?
I mean, he's got to work on that in his rate of play, but he's in such good form, and you want a striker to have a nose for goal. You want him to like have that hunger. I hear what you're saying. He's got to have that discretion to know that like it's more important for United to get a second goal than it is for him to get whatever it is. I think 10 goals in a row or something absurd.
Who knows?
But either way, he's still in great form. The record was going to end. You know, he can't keep scoring every fucking game. Like it's an incredible record. So Arsenal. He's got an Arsenal goal in him. Look at the history books.
At JM McLiver, remember when draws felt like wins? It's nice that draws feel like losses again. It means we're on the right course. At Oscar Castillo, it's hard to find a positive after today's match. 1 point, Casemiro suspended for Arsenal, only 1 goal again, and the games only pick up going into January / the start of February. So a little on the negative side there. At Golf Pro X2, Stonewall Pena McTominay not called, but regardless, that second half wasn't good enough. There was never a title race, and that's okay.
Right.
Squad depth isn't there, and the goal still remains top 4 and a trophy, which is still in our favor to obtain this season. Well, it's true.
It's true, bro.
Who did I think? I got over my ski. I thought we were going to win the title.
This guy's like doing backflips off his
I thought we were going to win the title.
One day, bro. One day. We'll be back.
Top 4 EFL Cup.
That's a good season. 3rd place EFL Cup. I think we can win it more than just the EFL Cup, but that would be a fine season, and we'd be.
You know what makes me nervous though?
With the Glazers out, that would be a fucking 10 out of 10, bro. You lose the Glazers, get in
I
new
agree.
owners, win a trophy, and finish 3rd place.
Yes.
Like that is a fucking great season.
Yes, I agree.
After last season, which was like literally like keeping up with the Kardashians,
that was
like
the worst.
nonstop. It was not just like we played bad on the pitch; it was like nonstop leaking in the press. Just it was awful. That was a goddamn sideshow.
Sir, you know, we're almost at like how many episodes? We're over 400 episodes of this podcast. We've never won a trophy.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
it's like,
Wrap this shit up. Let's go.
It's like, so you want to know why we're losing our goddamn mind?
Yes. 425 podcasts later, have a lot of goddamn thing. We went to 1 final, 4 semis.
Like 3
Actually, this will
Hans
be our
and Franz.
This will be our 5th semi.
1 Hans and Franz final. That we just like.
That fucking final, bro. I'll tell you what. There's a bet. Someone loses a bet one day. It's going to be like you have to watch all 140 minutes with the penalties of that fucking match. Oh, my God. Zoot suit. Zoot suit only.
If you like the American Red Devils, you're
Zoot suit.
You know, that's it. That's the pod. You like us. We're crazy Muppets. It's been a wild ride. The frustrations of wanting this club, trying to will it back to the promised land. One day we will be back. Maybe episode 2132, sir. But if we will be here along the way, you want to support us, check out our website, AmericanDevils.com. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/AmericanDevils. Check out our store, AmericanDevils.store. We're here to have a good time, have a bit of banter, pull no punches, sir. Pull no excuses. Here we are. What are our top 10 downloads last 7 days?
I love a good excuse. Number 1, how you doing? How you doing? New York, New York. Appreciate you. Sydney, Canada. Columbus, Ohio. Milford, Massachusetts. Knoxville, Tennessee. Indianapolis, Indiana. Fitchburg, Massachusetts. Phoenix, AZ, Arizona. London, England. And last but not least, Seattle, Washington. Appreciate all American Devils listening week in, week out. We couldn't do it without you. Big game of the weekend. Manchester United, they win it. we're going to be talking titles. If they lose it, hey, we move on from there. Set expectations to this guy.
Hey.
We can lose. We can win. We can draw. Everything's possible. Nothing's impossible. Manchester United, greatest club in the world.
We're going to
Never
hold
forget
on
it.
to our great history. Part of that is this great song. We have won the lot.
We've seen it all.